Hello. If you're coming in, I'm Lara Joe, SirenLara. We're going to do some collective energy reads. So come on in, grab a seat, listen, see how it's going. Let me know how your day is. Let's see what we can gather. I'm gathering, okay. I feel campfire energy vibes, right? Bonfire, campfire. Okay, well, that makes sense. Hello, hello. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover, if you're coming in. So we have the Devil and Five of Cups being left out in the cold. Five of Cups is emotional. Devil, that's Capricorn energy. That's being taskmaster, right? Capricorn gets bad rap, rightfully so. They would rather care more about like the pentacle or the bottom line than emotional fluffy. That's why I was like, huh. So the devil, okay, and look at it. Look at the devil, right? Does it not look like our mixed chicks, right? Or bonkers mixed chicks, yeah. So it's saying, okay, if you felt like you've been left out in the cold, maybe those aren't your people. I know. Well, okay, so the dog tarot, but you haven't been around to be able to see the dog tarot. Hello. Okay, Four of Pentacles and Chariot energy. So this is Four of Pentacles, that's being left out in the cold, and Chariot, that's Cancerian energy. It's around family. It's saying, okay, well, my family was supposed to play with me. Where were they? Right? Like we were going for a ride in the car, but I'm out here playing by myself, hustling by myself. So it's saying, okay, where have we been left out in the cold? And if it's about financial matters, like, let's take a look at that, because it's funny how we're all family in der club until we're not all family in der club, right? Like, if they left us feeling like we didn't have a friend in the world, maybe it's time to say, okay, good day. Good day with you. King of Pentacles, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn's just wanting to be front and center, join the conversation today. So it's saying, were they more concerned with their financial gain, or were they actually in it for the right reasons? Okay, Two of Cups, the World, Hierophant. So Taurus wanting to come out and speak here, and Four of Cups. So Two of Cups is ideal because that's two cups, a partnership. It's saying, I want this stability, this happiness, this nurturing. Okay, so the world, we have to close out those chapters. And when we close out those chapters, it's saying, okay, this is a definitive closing. This is, close it up, bolt the door shut, be done with it. So the world is asking you, if you want happiness with just a partnership, whatever that may entail for you, you have to be willing to close out those chapters where you were left feeling emotionally out in the cold. Because Four is about feeling a lack in emotions. With Four of Cups, it's saying, okay, we were supposed to go for a ride, like I said earlier, with like the Cancerian energy. You said that we were all going, but not all of us were included in it. So realizing, okay, who left me feeling like I wasn't part of the family or partnership or whatever. Figure out who you truly want to be walking with, talking with, chewing the fat. Because if they left you feeling like you didn't have a friend, then is that truly who you would like to be around? Okay. Justice. And you have to call internal justice before you can call external justice, right? Like, you have to make the decision in order to start seeing the reality of what is true around you. So justice is saying, I'm going to sit down and recognize that when I was having a hard time, who was there and who couldn't be bothered, right? They were good when it was good. When I had money, when it was a good time, they were around. But as soon as I hit hard times, all of a sudden that they weren't there. So realizing mentally, like, okay, I have to call justice on these people so that way it can come into my existence. Because then you'll really start seeing, once you see people for who they are, you can't unsee them. All right? Seven of Wands, deciding which passions do we want to go pursue. Seven is about choices. That's about heaven. 7 is heaven, right? So 7 is about your choices. What are you choosing to pursue? And Wands is your passion. So make sure that you're building and chasing the things that are truly what is aligned for you. All right. 6 of Wands, 3 of Cups. All right, so 6 of Wands, this is being moved away to safety. When I look at it in some of these decks, it's that whole, like the ferryman energy, like when the ferryman takes you from this world to the underworld and it's a safe passage. That's what 6 of Wands is. It's like, okay, we're going to have that safe, or no, sorry. 6 of Wands is the public victory. 6 of Swords is probably coming out pretty soon, which is so 6 of Wands, that's that public victory. It's like your obedience, your dedication will be rewarded. So keep doing what you're doing. Okay. 3 of Cups, the entanglement. So if you've been in 3 of Cups, that's typically an emotional entanglement. It's like third party involvement. So saying, okay, because I stayed true to me, I'm going to be removed from this entanglement and I'm going to be having a victory. Because this part of it, half the time, it's like you see what's going on and then you just bow out. You're like, you know what? I see over here they're getting all tangled up. So with 6 of Wands, it's like I would rather just sit and do what I'm supposed to be doing. So stay in your own lane. You'll have success and victory, right? There's less traffic in your own lane. I start seeing people being messy. I'm like, you know what? I would rather go home and do my laundry than be in all of this dramedy, right? So realizing who and what is worth your energy and what is not. Hello. If you are coming in, I am Lara Joe. If you are coming in. All right, let's see what we have to pull from the energy. Okay, Page of Swords. Calling judgment on a petty Betty. That's what this Page of Swords energy is. It's like, you know, the people that just, they don't have a thing nice to say. It's kind of like, okay, you know what? If you have a problem with everyone, maybe you're the problem. Okay, so Page of Swords is saying, I'm not going to be playing with people that are playing games with me. Like in this card, it's that keep away vibration of like, ha ha ha, I have this thing. So Page of Swords is saying, okay, we're going to cut that off because it's keeping me away from things that I truly need to be doing. You know, like when you're talking to somebody and you're like, they're just sucking my energy, and you have to realize, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go hang around them because every time I get around them, I just feel not myself. I feel out of character. Stop hanging around. Okay, so people that have nothing to lose will destroy your life. So, Lexi, I'm doing collective energy reads. So, please, if it resonates, you know, please let me know. You can ask yes or no. I'll see what we get. But I typically try to do just collectives because tapping into energy gets sucked in, right? That's what personals are for. Okay, so 5 of Cups, realizing it's better to be kind of in your own energy if they left you feeling, yeah, of course. We're all stubborn. Okay, so 5 of Cups. Lexi, I need you, if you want someone to reach out to you, they need to directly reach out to you. If they're not doing that, then that's not worth your time, right? So realizing that if we have to have people, because here's what I've started learning through all of this, a lot of people will redirect your messages. Like even if Jay did actually reach out to you, someone else that felt a way could have redirected that message. So it's one of those, we have to ask the universe for what we're wanting and to have it truly physically manifest. I don't know, hopefully that makes sense. 5 of Cups, this is people feeling away and leaving you out in the cold. So it's saying we don't, like, here's what I've learned through so much trial and error. Kick everyone out of your relationships. Friends, family, sisters, aunts, mamas, everything. Because people feel away, right? So the best way to ruin your relationship is to allow everybody to discuss it. So one of those, your partnership is sacred, okay? So make sure that you are investing in that. And if it's not the right person, please keep searching for the right person, right? Hello, Amanda. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. King of Wands, fiery, passionate. He knows what he wants, right? He's steadfast. He's steadfast. Fast. Fad. Okay. Please stop chasing fads. Oh my gosh. Okay. So King of Wands, right? He knows what he wants, but this is Leo energy. So think almost like Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz. Okay. Make sure that if he's fighting for his pride, that he's fighting for the correct thing. Thank you so much, Amanda, for the heart me, and thank you for the likes. I appreciate greatly. What time is it in Ireland currently? All right, we'll take those. Okay. Love it. We'll just read it as they come out. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. So it's the witching hour. Yeah. So thank you for joining us then. Thank you, thank you. I was, oh my gosh, once upon a time, I was married to an Irish man. He was half, like, his mom was born in Ireland and he was born in the United States, but that was quite an experience. His family was quite an experience. I have strong, and I have no Irish in me. My son has part Irish from his father, and like I say, I was married to a man that was part Irish. So I always have ties to Scotland, though. So yeah, maybe one day I'll get there. I'll be able to see Scotland and Ireland and England and all the things. Nine of Wands, we're going to put down our burdens, right? So we're saying no more to all of this. An Ace of Cups with putting down burdens, other people's burdens, right? We say, okay, I can bring in what I want. So think of this. When you hug, okay, so say a prickly person in your life is a cactus, right? So say for 20 years, you go, I must love this cactus. I'm going to hug it fiercely, right? Yet during that 20 years, no matter how much you love that cactus, and that may be like your most favorite person, but if they're still a prick and they're hurting you, right? At some point, you're going to have to let go. So when you let go of that pain, then you open your arms to allow soothing, to allow a new space in, right? So sometimes you do have to let go of the old prick to get new healing, to get new love. But that is the part, like, we even spend so much time hugging ourselves, but once we finally stop clenching ourselves and holding ourselves, then we can allow others into our space to be able to allow them to experience life with us. So it doesn't matter how long you've held on to that pain. What matters is that you recognize that it's causing pain and you finally say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, right? And maybe this feels really heavy. Okay, so speaking of Nine of Wands and burdens and Ace of Cups. So today I did a lot of wound release for the divine, or not even the divine, but just the masculine energy, right? That embodies on our planet and that need, like the shadow side, right? So I did a lot of that today. So it was putting down those burdens because our men are carrying so much weight and so much burdens and so much of the chains of antecedents that are long since gone, that these patterns no longer fit for. So, right, so when you start putting down the burdens of others, the fathers that came before you, the grandfathers, you can actually enjoy, like Ace of Cups, what is it that you truly want that fulfills your cup? So say no to the burdens that are weighing you down and start saying yes to what makes you happy. Because life is too short to be a miserable prick. Boy or girl, right? Life is too short to just go through life being like, rah. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, this is saying your abundance, your naturally abundance. Pentacles, this energy, like that's financial. It's slow moving, but it's like steady. It's rock solid. It's what we're built on. Pentacles is earth, right? That's our natural abundance. So Queen of Pentacles is saying, you know what? I put down other burdens so I can fill my love cup. Those pentacles, they start coming to me. I get to live my most beautiful life because it's about alignment. Here's the part, guys. It's not about control. It's not about coercion. It's not about any of that. It's about alignment and flow. Once you get into that in alignment and flow, think of the current that goes through Australia, right? Once you get in the flow, it's like you get propelled through and you stay in the flow. And that's with life too. You can't force your way in progress. You have to get into the flow and let it carry you. Wheel of Fortune. Everyone always looks at this as luck. Like people say, oh, you were so lucky you got that opportunity. No. Wheel of Fortune is like you put yourself in those rooms to receive those opportunities. So if you feel lucky, hell yeah, you're lucky because you did the work to put yourself in those rooms, in those seats, in those situations. So Wheel of Fortune is saying that the luck is turning in your favor, but you do have to let go of what everyone else wants you to do. Four of Cups. Pay attention who left you feeling like you didn't have a friend in the world, okay? Who wasn't truly a good companion. I started looking at people and I'm like, you're not a good friend. Or sometimes I looked at myself like, I'm not a good friend to you. And I don't want to fix myself to be your friend. But if I'm not a good friend and it's like in relation to you, then I realize that I don't want to truly be around you. Okay, so realizing who is truly worth your time, your energy, your effort, who you want in your corner, in your life, and building with them. You don't have to worry about who didn't show up. You have to worry about who does show up, okay? And if you want that dream life, okay, so there's two parts, right? We can always say, like, nobody's coming to save you. You can also say everybody's coming to save you, right? Everybody that you meet is someone that helps, like, throw you a little lifeline or a clue to say, okay, here's the next piece in the puzzle. So start looking at, and also with building your dream life, you have to build it. No one else can do it for you. So if you want something done, get up and do it. If people start aligning with your vibration, they'll join you. All right? We recently, 2 weeks ago, we watched Forrest Gump. So I'm catching myself wanting to say that's all I have to say about that. I love that. Okay, so I love that stupid movie. It was on YouTube Movies as a free movie. So it was like, hell yeah. Like, here's what I learned about people that I love dearly. We all kind of are the same vibration. You can put us in a house together for a weekend. We'll be perfectly entertained. So we all saw Forrest Gump and we were all like, yeah. All right. False person, watching who says they're a friend yet slithers like a snake, right? So watch your 6 and your 9 marriage, especially. Okay, so here's what I started realizing. I don't like having people in my life that I can't trust around my kids, my food, my money, or my man. Right? Like if I can't trust you alone in a room with any of those 4 things, I don't want you anywhere near me. I've also gotten really hard on standing on principles because it's like one of those, if they do it with you, they'll do it to you. So I pay attention when I'm dealing with people that believe in infidelity because I'm like, if you cheat on your partner, the person that has intimate access to you, and you think that that's okay, and you sleep fine at night, like you would do the same to me. So realizing it's better to have those standards, okay? So false person in marriage and thief. Yes. Yeah, so this is that whole people wanting what you have and trying to replace you, yet they don't realize how challenging that truly is. So doing the work, right? Watching your family because you are the protector of your family. Whatever that family may look like, right? Okay. Coffin and concern. Okay, so whoever was interfering in your relationships and your marriage that was a false person, like they're coming to endings. Okay, this is causing concern, but they never should have. Like, you can't build happiness off of another woman's tears or another man's tears. So if somebody was trying to take what was yours, like it won't ever come to fruition, truly. Like, it'll be a curse. They have to give it back. Okay, so official person, expectation, sudden wealth, poverty, and high honor. Okay, so this was like somebody trying to trick you out of your space, but this has been seen. You'll be compensated for all that, so just keep hanging in there, baby. I know it's really hard. I went through this with a client. I told her some things, and she's like, oh, I don't know, but we'll keep an eye out. And then it came to light, and I was like, You know, it's hard when you know what's going on, but you got to keep the faith. It will all come to light, and surely enough it does. Toil and labor. So, if you feel like you're stuck on a person, I want you to get stuck on working on you. You are the important thing here. It's your journey, your life. Make sure that you are creating the most beautiful, magical life. Speak it into existence. My same client just posted about speaking it into existence, what she was wanting, and she's actually seeing it come to fruition. So I'm like, yes, this is why we do it. We speak what we want over our life. So if you're, like, this is an example. Like, they said, I want to go to this concert. They went to that concert, right? Yeah, the 6 guy, you can. Provided you're going to be respectful, right? You can always ask questions. Just whether I'll answer them or not is the question. Oh, thank you for the heart me. You caught me during a good song. Okay, 6 guy, ask me your question, babes, please. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Violetta. So all it says is Violetta and then AM. Is there more to that question? Is that a person for you? Is that what you're asking? All right. I'm going to hop. Okay, so this feels like love. I'm going to hop in and we're going to pull from the love oracle. So let's see what the energy is around this. 6 guy, are you asking about love? Is that what you're asking about? If you want to just put a thumbs up and then we'll shuffle through. Okay. You are the person of my dreams. Okay. So sometimes the connection is really freaking weird. So I was like, I don't know what you're asking, and I didn't know if you, so I was like, I'm going to proceed forward since I hadn't gotten the rest of the question, but we'll start shuffling, okay? So you are the person of my dreams. Make sure you're measuring up to that, okay? Boy or girl, make sure you're measuring up to that. Don't be the person of people's nightmares, all right? I had my person turned into my own, like, Jason Voorhees. So when people are like, I dream of this person, I'm like, please don't. Please don't dream of me. Don't be like that. All right. I can't stand the thought of you with someone else. Okay, so jealousy may be taken into consideration. So you are the person of my dreams. I can't stand the thought of you being with someone else. And I didn't mean what I said. Okay. So, hey, Uncle Jimmy, how are you, babes? You have come into my live. I was thinking about you the other day, Jimmy. Okay, I didn't... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you've had the ex that went psycho killer. Okay, so that song follows me around. Yeah. Especially recently. I'm like, okay, I hear you. That and Police, Every Breath You Take. And I'm like, I'm not falling for this, right? Guys try to get... Oh, in a good way or a bad way. And you're not the only one. But was I doing anything risque? Was it after our bikini top Reiki? Which, by the way, guys, I do Reiki, I do sound therapy. Sometimes I do it in a bikini. That can be a special request, but, a little more for that show. right? You want to see more skin, that's, that's not for free. Just kidding. But not kidding. Also, were we cooking? All right. Hello. If you are coming in, I am Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. Whoever you're dealing with, they're not ready. And sometimes you just have to realize, like, they've got shit going on in their life, right? I have that going on with someone where they're like, well, should I be mad? I'm like, no. Oh, so Jimmy, if I were to turn just slightly, you would see the kitchen. TikTok can partially see my kitchen. And I'm soon to be moving out of this space, so I have no freaking idea where I'm going, which is terrifying. If anyone knows a sugar daddy looking for a sugar baby, like a legit one, please let me know, because I'm not in the mountains, babe. I mean, like, yeah, I'm in the Appalachia, but I can't move to Texas, dude. You know that. And where would I live when I move to Texas? And I don't do Texas. I don't do Texas. Okay, except for I'm a package deal and my package is here. Like, there are certain things that are not compromisable, and yeah, I'm not a solo dolo. Like, I'm a package and my package is here. I know, lame. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, Jimmy, how's your dad doing? How's life? I have so a lot of my collective members, like, their parents are not doing spectacular, so yeah. It doesn't get any better, man. Yeah. That grumpy, bitter, stubborn, it only gets worse the older they get. Oh, man. So, and I told my ex this years ago. I was like, hey, if you don't clean up your shit, like, you're not going to have anybody to stand behind you. And, and he continued to abuse everybody. And my daughter has now started saying it to him, and she, like, stands on it. And she was the kid. She's like, I'm never going to let you or dad end up in a nursing home. I was like, girl, you're just going to have to let your dad end up in a nursing home. And those men can get kicked out of nursing homes, right? Like, they can, and he would be one of those that would get kicked out. So there's a reason I saw that train wreck and I ducked and dodged, right? I was like, nope, not me. Not gonna, we're done with that trap. Okay, I feel terrible for hurting you. An apology goes a long way. All right, and I dive in and out of relationships. Yeah, so that's a cover. In needing validation, a lot of people, if you see them constantly in and out of validation or posting or in and out of relationships and posting, it's not because they're actually like a hot commodity. It's like they need validation and they just follow the flow of like who will pay attention to them. And if you're that person, please sit down and do therapy and realize that you're worthy, but you don't need... I had to say this with one of my clients. I was like, you need to be comfortable clapping for yourself when no one else shows up or no one else claps. I'm like, because there are people, and I speak from experience, right? I have kids that just, like, even if it's spectacular, they won't clap just because they don't want me to be, like, they want to humble and humiliate. I'm just like, so realizing that in life, you have to be able to congratulate and clap for yourself, even if it's a day that you barely survive. Like, even if it's a day you show up and you, like, clawed your way out of the pits of hell and you feel bad because you didn't leave the house or you didn't do whatever you need to do, like, realize, like, that's all the capacity you had for the day, and that's okay. Right? So recognize your wins, big and small. Be grateful. Like on the days it's good, be grateful. Be like, oh my gosh, I'm glad that I got to experience this thing. I'm glad I got to do it. And even on the days when it's hard, be grateful. Be like, I'm thankful that I had food in my belly today. So realizing, okay, because the universe, okay, first off, I love to talk about this. The universe has a praise kink, right? Like your ancestral team loves to hear that they did a good job. And think of like, because I deal with some Italian nanas, like when we tell our nana, like, I like that, they give you more, right? And the universe is the same. Like if you want more of something, you say like, oh, I like that. So they know like to make more or to give you more. So we all want things, but we don't appreciate what we have, and be thankful and say thank you for that. So maybe start being like, because this is the other part, I'm sassy as hell, my spiritual team's sassy as hell, right? So even when they're sarcastic, like I answer with sarcasm. They like that. Like your ancestral team likes for you to be living, right? And living experience that's feeling. If you're too afraid to feel, you're not truly living. You're just watching, which is okay too. Like there is great wealth in the observation, but it's how are you framing it around? Are you observing for purpose, or are you just observing because you're too afraid to do anything? Then we've got problems, because the universe will start pushing you out of those environments that you're not truly meant for. It will become incredibly harder to stay in them. It'll become hostile in there. Queen of Wands, fiery, passionate, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What are you putting those passions towards, though? Are you experiencing your best life, or are you watching everybody else? Are you on the sidelines? Because that's kind of what, like, I don't know why this energy is coming through. It's like you're watching from the sidelines. You're watching everybody else have fun, yet you feel like your whole internal world is crumbling down. The Tower is saying, okay, we have got to let go of whatever this is. Like, we can't keep going around this circle. So Scorpio energy is saying, so this tower is like, there's lightning, and the dogs are like, I'm so scared. It's saying, okay, you know what? We got to get out of here. So Tower is saying, let it fall, and we got to keep moving. Whatever is going on here, we can't keep trying to rebuild an unstable foundation. Like, right? Because if you build on instability, that's never going to last the time, right? If all you're building on is like false lies or bad building material, even think of it like a house. If you're building on bad building material, but you're trying to build it fast, like, yeah, it'll be a structure and it'll be up fast, yet it won't actually stand like it won't stand, like it won't pass the test. It won't stand the test of time. It'll crumble down. So realizing, okay, I'm gonna build that stability. Anything that wasn't for me, we've got to let go. Okay. 10 of Cups and 4 of Wands. I love it. 4 of Wands is stability. It's your foundation. It's your home. And 10 of Cups is saying you have that full, you're like, oh my gosh, life is good. So letting go of the things, the people, the places that are not for you, the habits. You ever start looking at things and you're like, why am I still doing this? You're like, why do I even still show up here? Like, I don't even like it here. Why do we keep coming back? So realizing, okay, we got to trim the fat. Ace of Swords, using logic, discernment, realizing what feels like it is no longer aligned for you. Head over heart, right? It's using that, okay, I know it's one of these things, like, I may love someone, but if it doesn't make sense, it's realizing, like if every time I go around them, I lose money, and I'm not in a place to lose it, you have to start saying, like, yeah, I may love you, but I can't keep doing this because this is putting me in a detrimental. So Ace of Swords is asking you, use head over heart to save yourself from detrimental situations. Because yes, you can love someone, but they can also get you in a lot of trouble. Like, don't let love be the reason that you get in deep water, right? Sometimes people need to struggle on their own, or they need to figure it out on their own. Just be like, okay, do you problem. The Fates And it came out in reverse, so it's stalling. The fates in reverse were saying we've been stalled out. It feels like, and that's not even true, because that stall out was for you to rest. I was looking, okay, so my situation that I'm in currently is a weird situation, and it feels like it's like a corrupt timeline. And in a lot of ways it is. Yet this situation, it was meant for me to build myself, to be able to feel incredibly radically comfortable with doing things by my own, without having to have someone else to impress or to build with or to ask for input, any of that. It was like, okay, this was one of those homes where it was like, okay, this is a soul solitary journey, and it's been one of great struggle, and yet it was needed. So while it feels like a corrupt timeline, it's like, no, that was needed for character development, that was needed for rest, that was needed for integration, that was needing to know thyself and know who I am not. Because when you learn yourself, you will never let anyone else tell you who you truly are. Because you're like, when I fought like hell to figure out who I was and who I wasn't and who everybody else was trying to make me be, you'll never let anyone else. You'll be like, you know what? I may be that, but I may not be. Like, and it's okay for people to feel however they want about you, because it's just a feeling. Like, if you're not truly that person, it doesn't matter, right? People can say whatever they want. Yet if none of it's true, they just look stupid. Okay? Oh, the Scorpios are heavy with the song November playing twice. And as I said, the Scorpios are heavy. 2 cards launched. Okay. So chaos and conflict, time for nap. Ooh, your headspace is heavy. It's time to go rest. You'll feel better. Okay, one of my Scorpio babies today was having everything was pissing her off. I was like, I'm going to let you go because you need to go get a good night's sleep. Like, so chaos and conflict and time for nap. If it feels like everything's war and nothing's moving, go rest, please. Do us all a favor. I had to do that myself, so I had to follow my own advice today. So milk and honey, yes, nap time. So I took a nap today, and I love naps, but my sleep's been all over the place. And today I was like, I have a million things I can do, yet I'm not getting any of it done, and I'm not getting anything productive done, so I need to go lay down. And I actually did, and that was really hard because I didn't expect to actually nap, but it was much needed. And so sometimes you just have to realize, like, if everything's just, the world's on fire. And this was the point, and ironically I got a call right before I took that nap, because I was like, there's nothing happening right now, there's no fires I can put out, I am going to go take a fucking nap. Like, the world is not going to spin off of its axis if I take a nap. Right? Nobody's gonna come police me. Nobody's gonna come knock on my door. Like, I don't give a flying fuck. Ironically, I did get a call I needed right before that, and I took it because I was like, maybe I just push that till after. I'm like, no, I'm gonna handle this now. We're not. So I did that, clocked the fuck out, even though my dog barked and barked and barked for a good while of that. So it was, when you need it, and it'll happen. Stop fighting the progression. And it was right on time. It couldn't have been before or after that, so it worked. And I needed it to be able to deal with the other thing I had. So peace in reverse. You've been allowing too many people to play in your peace. Stop. Right? Peace in reverse is like, stop allowing others' chaos to be your headache. Others' poor planning does not constitute an emergency on your part. Right? So when people weren't, like Jimmy, so one of those, like with your dad, right? If he was, and I'm just going to hold your left paw when I say this. I realize he's your father. And yet sometimes, if he was a miserable prick your whole life, and I know you feel guilty for him, and you feel the family, blah, 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 but it's one of those that if he planned so poorly and he treated everyone so poorly, you may have to look at it and be like, this is not my problem. You need to figure it out on your own. And I know that's not a fun discussion to have. And yet, for your own self-preservation, it's like, right? Because when we start looking at, like, my mom hated when I left because I was the only kid that would have treated her with dignity and respect, especially at her end. And I was like, no, you treated me so awfully. Like, it's your own mess up that you acted like that my whole life. Like, that your poor planning does not constitute me bleeding out my resources and energy because you have other kids that were the best kids ever. They can take that. Yeah. And they did. My sister killed her. So she loved my sister so much and my brother, and they put her to sleep for money. So, you know. They all got what they deserve. I did give my mother healing and peace and love before she passed, yet they all got what they deserved. Like, it was pretty traumatic how it all played out. And yet they earned it, right? They made those beds. They slept in them. So I'm not, like, I will treat people with dignity and respect regardless of how I feel about them. Yet you earned that. Okay, so I will say this. The anniversary, since I haven't talked to you in so long, Jimmy. Hold on. I'm going to hop out of TikTok because TikTok was TikToking. I haven't talked to you since then, but the anniversary of her passing came up. And I was like broke as hell, but the anniversary of her passing came up, and one night I was cooking dinner and it was coming up to it and she was getting so loud, and I had to make, like, when I made dinner that night, I had to leave some for her. But she was so loud because she didn't exit out of here voluntarily per se, but she got real chatty. And because I was the kid that, like, I didn't do her harm even though she did the worst to me, she now has to pay me in all the most beautiful ways. So I honor my mother. I make, like, I give her tithings when necessary. I honor her struggle. Like, my mom was one of those that she was a broken child, having a broken child, raised in a broken system, and there's a lot that can go down that whole thing. Yet I look at, there's, obviously we want to get mad at our parent for doing that, and yet sometimes we have to look at our parents and realize that they're 5-year-olds. And that's as well too, Jimmy, I guess where I want to go is that sometimes you have to detach from your dad and be like, I love you, and if I were a human outside of this, like, if I were not your son, how would I want you treated? So sometimes you do have to step back from your parents and treat them with, like, if this were a stranger, how would I treat them? Would I treat them with dignity, kind of thing? Because I've had to do that with my parents too. Like, I used to do medical exams on so many people, so many different, like, walks of life. And my family, when they would come in, I would always do their exams, and they would always say, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so professional, or you're really good at this, or, that didn't hurt at all. And it was one of those that I didn't treat them horribly because they were my family. I treated them like I would have treated every other patient. Right, yeah. I mean, I treat everybody with love and kindness and dignity and respect to the best of my ability. Yeah, I also don't let people, like, slide with their bullshit. I'm like, if you're on your bullshit, like, no, we're not letting that slide. But it was one of those that, like, I don't care when you are in a capacity that you are not acting your best or feeling your best, I'm not going to hold that personally against you, right? Because I can't even tell you, this is why I say, like, you can't need people to validate you. I worked in the medical field. I worked with women all day long. They never wanted to come see me. They weren't very nice to me. A lot of them were scared, right? And that is part of it. A lot of their responses were fear responses. So they would say, and or pain responses. So they would be nasty or just, and realizing like, okay, it's not personal. Or even when I worked in urgent care, like I would go, like people would be super mean, and then I would go to give them a shot, and then all of a sudden, like now they're not mean. I was like, I'm not gonna take that out on you. Like I'm not gonna inflict it upon you because you were mean to me. I realized that you were in pain and that you wouldn't have acted or responded like that if the situation were different. And sometimes we also have to look at that, like with our parents, if they're acting like childlike, realizing like, hey, this isn't you, this is the condition that you're in, so I'm not going to be a dick about it. Okay. That's the other, a lot of these men should be very scared. Like, I would be terrified of my daughter taking care of my ex-husband if he were in a compromised position. Not necessarily, well, like, for many reasons, but if she wanted to, she could inflict a lot of damage, and she would be, I hate to say it kind of like this, but she would be in every right. Like, he has done the worst of the worst to everyone that he ever loved. So sometimes they get what's coming. Badger, badger, badger. Bad boy. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. See if I want to do anything else or if I'm going to get out of here. It's probably about that time. All right, serendipity and orphaned. Okay. We must let go. That is fated, right? So orphans, you do feel like you come to a loss. So I wouldn't be surprised if you are in my collective currently in Twitch if your parents are going to be checking out pretty soon. Yeah. So it's meant to happen. Yeah. Yeah. So that is that whole energy of like, hey, you can't put out garbage and expect to have a good life. But with serendipity and orphans, so where I was gonna go with like the whole Twitch side of it, you do have parents coming like close to being out of here and karmically and all that jazz, but that's meant to happen so that you can live your life, right? We always want to hold on to our parents, yet they've lived their life and it's time for you to live yours. Okay. Jimmy, I have a lot I could actually say about like karma type stuff, because astrologically there's a lot of things going on that I've seen this song and dance, and a lot of people should be very scared because the universe is piping up to be taking people out. So he may not live that long, honestly. The other part of that is that he either has to get on board and get his ass in gear, or he ain't gonna live that long. The way he's going, he's on a fast track to be gone before 50. I warned him though, right? He's just outrunning death, but really what he's out doing is outrunning feeling. That's the challenge, guys. We don't outrun death. We run from feeling. We run from having any expression of emotion. It isn't a good thing though. It really isn't. Like he needs to have a come to Jesus moment. Like we truly do need him as a humanity. We need him. His daughters need him, but he needs to not be doing what he's doing, which is destroying himself, destroying his lineage, destroying his legacy. Like beautiful, talented, amazing, truly, deeply, yet emotional, wounded man has a lot to live for, a lot to go on for, yet so deeply in like childhood shit. And I'm like, man, because he does, okay, such a Scorpio trait, right? Like, so many people love Scorpio, right? But then you guys do, like, they do this, like, fuck shit that you're just like, you knew that was bad. You knew you were being bad. Like, I love you, but I can't love you when you're doing bad shit. Like, as the mom of the group, if you're being a bad kid, I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. Like, stop doing that, Scorpio. Right? Like, we want you at the party, but not if you're gonna be an asshole. Anyhow. Lots of therapy. Lots of money invested in healing and therapy because of that motherfucker. And my parents, you know? Lots of damage done to my body. Yeah. Like, super, super talented, amazing man, intelligent, hardworking, driven, yet also does horribly dark things because running from his demons. Or running straight towards them, not sure anymore. Yet just running. And I'm like, you can't outrun yourself. Like, it doesn't matter what city you're in, you're always going to be there to do your own bad thing. Maybe stop doing the things that hurt you. There's a novel idea. Alright, I'm going to take... This is my last card. Okay, Orphan. Realizing that sometimes being alone's better than being with the wrong people. Alright, my guys. I will catch you later. Bye.